The Enterprise first appears docked with a large toy. If you push down on that button on the top, the little spring-loaded missile on the front will pop out. The visiting aliens have been on the receiving end of Enterprise's diplomacy, so as you no doubt expect, they're storming off. They offer the following comment.
You eat like you mate?
Wow, taking out someone's table manners and sexual inadequacies in one blow. That's a pretty efficient insult. Archer apologizes, but it is so clearly forced, the aliens, the Cretaceans, leave anyway. And if docking ships is a bit of sexual innuendo, then I suppose this is innuendo of what it's like to get the clap, as this crawls up their port gina to set up the episode. Later, as Hoshi's doing a post-mortem on this dead mission, clearly upset at the possibility she might have caused this gaffe, T'Pol decides to do the logical thing and pour more shit on her.
There's no need to react emotionally. Try to learn from failure.
I'm sure she's already learned not to give up a university job to serve under an arrogant Vulcan bitch, but thanks for the reminder. Perhaps you need to look no further on where the diplomacy went wrong, T'Pol. Doing his own dwelling in his ready room, Archer is interrupted by Trip, past the duct tape Tucker, who tries cheering Archer up, and it ends as you'd expect, until Catfish pulls out his secret weapon, something so awesome it'd be impossible for any man to resist. College water polo! Damn right! The only sport that combines the awesome spectator sport of handball with the thrill of seeing people tread water. Yes, just look at the enthusiasm from that crowd. In the mess hall, it's din-din time. If the aliens are right and they do eat like they mate, then Reed likes to try a little bit of everything all at once, while Hoshi prefers to just lay back and look bored. Mayweather talks Reed into staying for the movie, Wages of Fear, where things blow up, the hero treats his girlfriend like crap, and boys run around with no pants. Reed's all over that. Despite being a movie with at least 3 languages spoken in it, Hoshi has no interest and sulks off, listening to the snot monster crawl through the ducts because that's where monsters go. Next, of course, are the general disruptions, as a proto-redshirt is sent to investigate and movie night gets ruined. Our monster, nicknamed by some as the Cum Creature, has broken into a corner and made a web out of itself, snatching the red shirt. As expected, people keep stumbling in there to get captured as well. First the other engineer, then Archer and Tucker show up with Reed and the security officer, so you know how that'll end. The creature is a Chia Pet-based life form, having grown off-screen just by being near other people, and will continue to do so. Like many monsters, it doesn't need to obey any pesky conservation of matter laws, instead feeding directly on the plot to grow and occasionally crap out some more water polo scenes. So as you expected, in keeping with his personal idiom, Archer is quickly caught and bound by the villain. Tucker's efforts to save him only results in him getting captured too, or at least pretend struggling while CGI is drawn around him. The security guard likewise fails to withdraw in time, leaving only Reed, and his expression says it all. Phallic-shaped tendrils, but I've already proved how totally heterosexual I am. I'm out of here. So yeah, while everyone else manages to get caught, it's Reed who both evades capture and, for the 2-point conversion, manages to capture a piece of the tendril. A meeting is quickly called around the air hockey table, where Mayweather's excited. With 2 of the main characters captured, there's a damn good chance he'll have some dialogue this episode. And he even takes the big leap of trying to start his own subplot. He'll try to find the aliens and see if they know anything about the life form. Phlox begins his own examination, and given that the thing looks like something you'd buy under a fake name off the internet and then cover in KY jelly, he's taken every precaution. On learning it may be intelligent, Hoshi kicks off her subplot idea with studying it to see if she can understand its language. But T'Pol decides to continue her bitch subplot and tells her to forget it, instead ordering Reed to hit it with lights since Phlox suggests that as a weapon. When actors are starting out, preparing for the possibility of being immortalized on the stage or screen, I wonder if it ever occurs to them that if they get that big break, they might be lucky enough to get strapped into a harness and covered with goop for hours while they get to say their 1 or 2 lines. All the study, the hard work, the community theater, performing oral sex on your agent, and then you finally make it and get that chance to decide how to say, "Why doesn't it just kill us?" in a way that just sells the hell out of that line. Reed and his posse show up and hit the creature with the energy, but they're so interwoven with it now it starts hurting the Enterprise crew. So they withdraw and decide to let Hoshi start her subplot. But not to be outdone, Reed decides to start a subplot of his own. He's going to invent the force field. But he'll have to hurry because Phlox says they only have a few hours at most to save them. Otherwise the creature will fully absorb them. Remember that it's Phlox that says that. It'll be relevant soon. So the Hoshi and T'Pol catfight begins again. It's a bit difficult to pick sides here. On the one hand, T'Pol seems to be getting into semantics just to piss Hoshi off. But then again, Hoshi's defeatism doesn't exactly inspire confidence. As it's revealed to have a mathematical basis, they agree this is time for hot girl-on-girl translating action. And it's necessary because, for some reason, while everyone incorporated into the creature can communicate telepathically with each other, communicating with the creature isn't actually happening. Still, it gives Archer a chance to give Tucker an after-school special about never giving up. This leads to what I've started to dread, the Phlox acts superior to others scene. As part of his effort, Reed needs some data on how much power it's going to need to stop the tendrils without risk of being lethal. Well, Phlox decides this might hurt the creature, so he forbids it, even though time is quickly running out. Phlox's argument is that they don't know the creature's intent is hostile, while Reed's is that someone who forcibly captures others and attempts to absorb them, intentionally or not, is hostile. I get Phlox's sentiment, really, I do. They are out here to seek out new life, absolutely. However, we've also seen that being absorbed into someone else's collective is a desperate times, desperate measures kind of situation. After all, the reason for the urgency is that our crew will be effectively dead when this is done, and Phlox pushes for speed to avoid that. Now let me stack up their arguments here. Reed wants to put it in this little case and test how to safely repulse the creature so he can stop it from threatening anyone besides the hostages that it's already taken. Phlox, on the other hand, volunteered the idea of using EM rays on the creature as a means of hurting it. So the idea that Reed's a jerk here because he might unintentionally be hurting this tiny lump is a bit hypocritical when Phlox hurts the entire creature on purpose. Then, to get out of this moral dilemma, Phlox says that he can get the data himself in less than an hour. Whatever that means. I mean, are we talking 59:59 or are we talking a minute and a half? We don't know, so we'll assume an hour. Remember that Reed has already taken time out of his day to invent the force field since this started. And now Phlox, who said they have only a few hours before then, now wants to take even more time out to do things his way, even when Reed pulls rank. And really, Reed could just wheel the damn thing into the hallway if he wanted to. It's his prisoner, after all. And yet, we're supposed to be siding with Phlox? And the thing is, Phlox hasn't exactly been impressing us with his judgment calls lately, has he? Well, let's see. Dear Doctor, I'm so proud we let them all die a lingering death. Regeneration. These assimilated people are completely harmless. Acquisition. Oh, yes, alien probe. Just send that right through decon. Oh, no, not you, Mr. Tucker. You might be diseased. Silent enemy. Doctor-patient confidentiality. I never liked Reed anyway. Strange new world. Oops, I sort of screwed up and this guy's nearly dead and everyone else is in mortal danger. And that's only a handful of the episodes that we've already covered. So sure, maybe he knows what he's talking about. Or maybe, like me, he's starting to sound to you a little bit like...
Now open your mouth and let's have a look at that brain. No, not that mouth.
Up on the bridge, Mayweather has tracked down the Cretaceans and suddenly finds out he's the senior officer. That is, he's the only one up there besides an extra. So he contacts them. Unfortunately, much as I wish I could say otherwise, he really struggles with this performance, though the dialogue's not exactly helping. The aliens have learned English by studying the database they were given, and they say that they know about the creature and its homeworld, but won't give up that information without an apology. Turns out they feel that eating is something to be done in private, like taking a dump, hence the phrase, eat like you mate, because, well, I guess they have sex alone too or something. Now finally getting his shit together, Mayweather proves to be even more diplomatic than Archer was, offering a sincere apology, as opposed to just forcing one out through his teeth. Good. Now, when are you going to be apologizing to the audience? Meanwhile, Reed is finishing up his invention of the force field.
You'll have to do it quickly. Dr. Phlox says our people don't have much time.
Yes, well, tell Phlox, king of the bloody universe, to suck my English cock. If he wants to stall for time, have Mr. Medical Ethics head down to the cargo bay and share all my medical information with the snot monster. He seems happy sharing it with everyone else. Being actually competent, Reed succeeds and blocks off the entrance to the cargo bay so that Hoshi can go in and try to communicate. It tries to attack her, and she glares back at it. Everyone knows that tentacles and Japanese girls are natural enemies. To show this wasn't just a misunderstanding, only after they have received coordinates on where to take the creature does it now release everyone, not when it's told that it must stop before it kills them. But, what's a little hostage-taking when you've got a new life form, huh? In a further abandonment of common sense, the creature then uses all-spark mass-hiding technology to suddenly go from filling a large room to fitting into a footlocker that can be carried by 2 people. They return it, observing that the creature must have done what it did because it wished to be part of others, just like it was back in its homeworld. And that would be much more understandable if it wasn't doing it to them against their will. Pity it couldn't know that because it had no way of sharing thoughts with them. Oh, yeah. Post-episode follow-up. Annoying character goes to Phlox for acting superior to everyone while constantly telling them to work faster. Final score for Vox Sola is 4 out of 10. The creature certainly is a nice break from rubber four-headed alien of the week, and it was nice that the characters who normally have to sit in the background had things to do. But overall, it just doesn't feel anywhere as significant as it should have given the uniqueness of the alien.
Come on. Come on. Yes!